tired of all the depressing news out there? Want to watch something a little more uplifting and inspirational? Well, then you got to check out Eye on the People with Max Tucci. It's on Sundays right here on SFL TV at 11 a.m. And now, the star of the show right here in person, Max Tucci. Max, it's great to have you on the show. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here, Dave.
It's our pleasure. We're really excited to have your show on our channel. Tell us all about it, Eye on the People, with you.
With Max Tucci.
Yeah.
You know, I've done radio for 6 years now and interviewed over 350 guests. And I always wanted to take that platform of radio with all these like really great inspirational people and kind of bring it into television. And it's not like people we know all the time. So the tag for the show is I've always wanted to introduce you to celebrities, newsmakers, and everyday people. Whichever they may be, they're all inspirational. So it really has that inspirational vibe of everyone has a story.
Yep.
You know, Oprah says everyone has a story. And I say, and we need to finish it. We need to be told, our stories need to be told.
And I know just, you know, from knowing you a bit, sort of the message of positivity is really important to you,
Yeah.
right? I mean, especially in this climate where every channel you turn on something and it's just negativity all the time. So it's important for you to approach this from that platform, right?
Totally. And you know, now on TV, everything is like, my Bentley, my this, my that.
Right.
But no one wants to tell their real story, their authentic story. You know, they all want to show what they have. But when you break that all down and you go to the person, tell me your story. You'll see. I've made multi-millionaires cry.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We had a good time doing that.
So who have you made cry? And
well, you're going to have to
do
stay tuned.
Okay.
But, you know, questioning is always important. And listening is even more important.
Sure.
So when you get them in their groove and their vibe of their story, for me, I retain the names of like their mother, their grandmother. And then you get them with, if your grandmother were here right now, you know,
Sure.
like the old Barbara Walters question, what would she say about you? And then tears start coming up in their eyes. And then, like Barbara said, when she sees tears, she hears cha-ching. When I hear tears, I'm like, that's breaking the shell.
It's funny because my goal is to make you cry in the next 5 minutes. So what would your grandmother think about what you've been doing?
Wow. You know, she would be like, she would know it. You know, and it's different because I had two different grandmothers. One that came from a super wealthy family in Italy and started Delmonico's restaurant with her husband, my grandfather, and then one who escaped the war and lived in DP camps. So it'd be interesting. My father's mother I never knew, but my mother's mother, she would be like, oh, I knew he was going to do that.
Right.
So it would be interesting.
I don't see any tears. Maybe
No, because she would be my interview.
Yeah.
That would, like, if I could interview anyone right now in my family, it would be my grandmother.
That's great.
See, now you're going to get the tear.
I feel it. I heard the voice quiver a little bit.
You heard the crack.
Cha-ching. Nice.
Break the soul.
Who have we lined up so far for your show? Who are we
Oh
say?
my gosh. Well, we have Tommy Rose, who's an amazing, she's South Floridan. She's an amazing woman. She wrote a book about single mothers. She's one of the top real estate brokers here. She's the first African-American in South Florida to sell like multi-million-dollar homes. She's had clients like Michael Jackson and big, huge name clients. So she was my first interview, and we did in one of her listings in this multi-million-dollar palatial house, and it was unbelievable. And I had her almost at the breaking point to cry, and then we were like, okay, we need to take a break.
Yeah.
So Tommy Rose, and then today I'm interviewing David Bromstead from HGTV, and then tomorrow Sophie B. Hawkins, you know, Grammy-nominated Sophie B. Hawkins. Damn, wish I was your lover.
Sure, of course. It's a classic tune.
Yes.
From the 90s or something?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had her on my radio show 2 nights ago.
Uh-huh. And
And it was so much fun to have her on because I was like, now I can bring this to TV. And to sit with her, and I was like, we're stopping the radio interview because I want to talk about this on TV. And then Ron Bergeron, who, you know, was like the connector of South Florida. So some really groovy people.
Yeah, it's funny because I started off in radio too, and the thing I always liked best about radio was you didn't have to shave and you can wear sweatpants. Now, you are on TV right now and you still haven't shaved. So
No.
I guess this is your luck.
This is, you know what, I'm being me. And you know what, you either love it or you don't.
All right.
And the funny part too is like now, we were talking about it yesterday with my friend in Colorado. I was like, I'm at like one of my heaviest in weights. And I'm like, but so was Oprah when she started. So you know what, you can identify. Because I feel like if you're that chiseled look all the time, you're intimidating.
Listen,
so I'm like, I'm me.
I am that chiseled look, and it's hard. It's hard
Isn't
to be
it
so
hard?
intimidating.
You know. You get
people
it.
don't want to talk to me.
No, you
yeah,
get it.
No, listen, do
You
your
intimidate
thing.
people.
Yeah. Have a burger. It doesn't. Do whatever you got to do. One of the other things about your show that's really cool is that you don't do it in a set, right?
No.
You don't want that vibe.
I want people to feel comfortable in their environment. So if you're a singer like Sophie B. Hawkins, we're doing it on stage with her. So she's really in her environment, like it's her home. And Tommy, it was in one of her listings. Ron Bergeron, it was in his saloon. And if I could, I would have been in the Everglades with him because he was like, that's where I really want to be.
Sure.
So it's really where they feel comfortable and where they feel they can open up and tell their story. You know, when you come into a studio, you kind of have to have like your guard up because you're like, who's around?
Well, it just feels very TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like you can't be the most authentic version of yourself because there's TV around. Yeah.
So going into their space
Yep.
and then into their soul is what I Am the People's about.
And also, you spend the entire half hour in most cases with just one person.
One person.
Yeah.
We do a 2-part special when it comes to the youth.
Right.
Because I like to have the youth really inspires. Whitney said, "I believe the children are our future." So if we can get 2 kids in one special, then we're getting them out there.
All right, so you mentioned kids. So give me an example of an inspirational kid.
There's this. So I sent out a tweet at Max Tucci. I said, "Tweet me who you think is inspiring to you." And I have this tweet from a friend named Bruce, and he said, "There's this kid, Mohammed. He's in a wheelchair. He can't speak. He types through a keyboard, and the computer speaks for him." I said, "Well, what makes him so inspirational?" He goes, "He never gives up on life. He's 19 years old, and because he's in a wheelchair, doesn't stop him. He goes on cruises. He goes all over the world. And what was most fun is that he loves Chris Brown. So he started tweeting Chris Brown. Obviously, you know, with the internet now, that's his outlet to the world. So he tweets Chris Brown, and Chris tweets him back. And he just became an inspiration because when you talk to him and sit down with him, he just looks at you. So you're like in that eye contact.
Sure.
And then his computer speaks to you. And it's like, he's always so positive about living life, like to the max. So I said, let's do it.
To the max. To the max.
To the max.
I don't want to tell you to change the name of your show, but I think, you know, to the max inspiration.
To the Max is the radio show. It was, and then it became Max and Friends.
Look at you, dude. You're maximizing your name, if you
go.
will. Yeah, and the show's on Sundays, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
We're super excited to have it. And you know, you're telling me that you try to get these guests to quiver and cry and crack, but do you ever? Is there ever like the Max Tucci, I need a minute kind of moment?
If you cry, like if you get a good cry, I'll get a good cry too.
Yeah.
So you know, because it's human. It's humanity. When someone's hurt, when someone hurts, you feel it. And when you're sitting there and they're telling their story, they're bearing their life to you, and they cry, you're like, anyone is capable of this.
So there's a chance we could turn on your show and just see 2 people crying, basically.
Well, yeah, there's that possibility.
Just sitting there,
there's that
hugging
possibility.
and, you know.
But there's
and
more
crying.
possibility that you'll be inspired.
Yeah, perfect way to end it. If people want to get more information, how can they contact you?
Just tweet me at Max Tucci.
That's it.
And tweet me who you think is inspiring.
Yeah.
That's the most important.
And then Max will break them down and make them cry.
Right, we'll cry together.
Dude, good to see you. And,
Likewise.
And good luck on the show, man.
Thank you.
All right, bud.
Stay tuned.
You got it.